to be absolutely nuts. I hope we're in for an incredible best of 5 here. So fellas, take it away.
Well, Wes, for the first time in European Halo Infinite Pro Series history, the bracket has been reset. They threatened to do it, and they have done just that. And one thing we can say about Ascend is they're very conscious and respectable of all of our times. But Online Warriors have come in here like spoiled brats and spoiled the party, and they want to send us to 1 a.m. So kudos to them. But we're going to another best of 5, and Oddball Streets is game 1, Wes.
Time to dig deep. How bad do you want it? How much fuel do you have in the tank? Both these two teams now having extremely long days. And Online Warriors, I mean, you can feel the momentum in their gameplay. How long will that momentum and that adrenaline last them is the big question. We're going to hop into game 1. It's obviously going to be on the streets, and they have made a name for themselves on these same streets throughout the day. So I love the fact that this second best of 5, the fact that they get a reward for winning that first best of 5. They get to start it off with one of the best game types from what I've seen so far, and I couldn't be more excited.
Online Warriors then, born and raised in these streets, it would seem. Quadrant have to come here and get a result in game 1 because momentum is very much against them. Starting strats have favored Online Warriors. Will we see the same thing here? First pick goes for Respectful, and they're already rolling.
What a day he's having. If you took a look at the highlight reels as we jumped into this last section on the desk, it was Respectful double kill after double kill after double kill. So no surprise he starts off that one right, but SLG doing a good job to secure these rockets. The ball in the hands of Quadrant, so maybe a little bit more of an impact needed from the rest of the boys to get a good start going. And SLG finding a double is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Picks up 2, and phlux in trouble of being the latest victim. Shad will drop though. And that will thin the hair just a little bit, but the frag grenade, the fade away. SLG rolling here on a tear, but Mose with a thruster pack in the back pocket. But the damage that SLG put down for his team has meant that they have ball and they have got a tram set up.
Barely a quiet first best of 5 from SLG. It's good, but he's been able to step up for Quadrant. What can the rest of the team do now? 33 points and counting. A good setup, a good rotation into Tram has benefited them well so far. But they're under a lot of pressure here as Online Warriors look to push, and we know how successful these pushes can be.
Mose eliminates NURIX from the equation for now anyway, for the moment. And now we see the Bulldog in Snakey's back pocket. TchiK, couple of crouches, gets himself out of dodge over towards garbage, but nobody able to put their hands on the ball just yet. 34 seconds to 3, prioritizing slays. 3v3 now on the map. And Snakey just waiting for someone to get touch tight before he takes the Bulldog out, and here it comes. And it barks, and NURIX somehow scampers away, but is ultimately taken care of. And this should be and result in ball time for all.
Good job to flush out Tram finally from the Online Warriors side, just as rockets are coming up as well. So that kill on the SLG could be the opening pick to secure these rockets, you would hope, if you're an Online Warriors fan. I know this may not be many of them, but they sure as hell have added across today's work. Tournaments like these, runs like these, upsets like these create fan bases. I promise you, we're going to start to see. SLG looked like he got the rocks to start that one off, but unfortunately loses his life, forced to trade. And not the worst thing from Quadrant fans to see as they take down 3 as well, break the setup outright. And Online Warriors, although they did a good job to come back, it looks like Quadrant are going to jump out to another lead.
NURIX was the first pick though. He's back in the fight now. Can he get close to his team? Give them the helping hand. Ball has been fumbled out though, and that's going to give the opportunity for Online Warriors just to milk this for as long as they possibly can. phlux finally taken care of. And that's going to mean more ball time as now round 1. Quadrant tip past the halfway point of securing it. It's been all one-way traffic for the last couple of minutes. Online Warriors have been unable to break the setup. Play is going in the right direction if you're a Quadrant fan also. The push coming down driveway from Online Warriors. Shad recognizes that. phlux will eliminate him though, but ball will immediately start to rotate out.
Yeah, great job by Quadrant to rotate that out of Tram, to understand the situation perfectly. The killing spree for SLG in the meantime, and look how far that ball went. It went all the way to tower, and although they lose multiple members, they at least subdue the push from Online Warriors for now.
Push subsides. Online Warriors come out on top. So far, Rockets nearly ready to come out of the oven. You won't hear an audible cue, there'll be no ding. But trust me, you'll know when they're out. You'll smell them around the map. They have just popped up. Snakey inside C has lines of sight on them. If he chooses to play aggressive, Phlux though, heads up play from him, recognized exactly what the situation was. But Rockets have been scooped up elsewhere. They're down bottom middle. NURIX is falling with them in his hands. Snakey, the last man alive. And with the stock rifle in SLG's pocket, he will pass the information on. Those Rockets are still up for the grabs.
Yeah, what a great job by SLG to stay alive there. Love the route that he took. Doesn't prioritize the Rockets, understanding the situation perfectly. Because of that, Quadrant continues this lead now up over 40 and counting. SLG's gonna have to drop it and slay here because he feels the pressure coming from KotH side of the map.
A couple of shots of the stock rifle and takes the battle rifle out instead to finish the job. Heads up play from him. Snakey slides in though, scoops of that stalker rifle, but the seconds favor Quadrant by double, 80 to 40 even here. NURIX, a couple of shots of the stock rifle will almost crack his shields, but both back down and will live and engage once more. Double kill in the feed for Quadrant though. But Phlux the Mose fading the black. The Bulldog in the back pocket's been doing damage all series long, all tournament long, and as Shad finally shuts them down. 15 seconds required for Quadrant.
Yeah, Snakey needed a little bit of help back there. Unfortunately, Quadrant just seems so much more impactful here in at least the first round of this second best of 5. This is the Quadrant you know that can control the pace of the game, that can win this entire tournament. They're going to punch their ticket here as that clock for the points hit to 100 for Quadrant, and that's a very strong performance to rebound after that poor performance in the first best of 5 series.
Round 1 on the board then. Round 2, fight. As we get underway, thick and fast then is the attention on Rockets. And SLG again with the stock rifle will back that player down top tower. Mose will lose the drop shield. Heads up play by SLG just to shoot the frame of it. Shoot the base, and that will mean that the drop shield will no longer play a part. But Rockets remain down bottom middle. They have finally been scooped up and they're in the hands of NURIX.
Yeah, once again, it feels like Online Warriors do a good job to win what appears to be the opening starting strap, but somehow, some way, Quadrant sneak away with Rockets. They put them to use, deny any opportunity really Online Warriors would have had with the map control they earned, and NURIX perfectly using these Rockets, and he's found the opening to find not 1 but 2 kills at this point, and that at least just delays any opportunity from Online Warriors throughout this entire time.
Shad gets Snakey in the feed. They've answered back. It's 2v2 on the map. Phlux down to no shields. So advantage will be for Quadrant. As Phlux is all alone in the cafe, and he's not interested in dishing out any sorts of coffee. He's only death as he picks up 1. NURIX will also fall. Numbers advantage once more. Tip back over towards Online Warriors. But no team yet able to put down significant control on the map to put down any real points on the board.
It was a flying Phlux with the AR that really made the difference there. That kill he was able to secure allowed his teams to get that numbers control, and with that numbers control, we're seeing a completely different story here in round 2. It's gonna be Online Warriors jumping out to the lead. They got a PD set up. The big question is, how long can they hold it off?
And Mose, for a moment, eyed up his former teammate and Flying Dutchman, Shad. Those two know exactly what each other are capable of. But it's Mose who falls inside PD. This setup's being blown wide open. Bulldog again in Flux's hands, respectful. The last man standing over towards KotH. NURIX recognizes that, picks up the ball, and will start to score points.
Yeah, the difficult piece here is that Rockets were coming up as soon as the setup started to become broken. No play ball, no opportunity to really compete for Rockets either from Online Warriors. And now Online Warriors are going to have to break that same setup that they just had. But the difference is SLG has this set of Rockets. It's going to be much more difficult to try and break through, especially if you're trying to push through B Stronghold.
SLG has been playing this tires area expertly as he picks up 2 more. That's 3 for the life. SLG roaring to life in grand finals now in this bracket reset, and they need him.
Another great rotation towards Cram too with the ball. They're going to keep it over towards the shotgun for now, but you can already see how proactive Quadrant are trying to be with this objective. Online Warriors stuck trying to chase the path, and unfortunately Quadrant on the back of 19 from SLG, just too much to overcome as of yet.
And what we're seeing here, and every single time we change POV, is unlike the first series, Wes, Quadrant are winning those 1v1s. Again, SLG comes out on top and lets phlux know.
Quadrant's looking like a much different team this time around. Much more control, much more teamwork across the board, even the individual skill. In that Aquarius game, we were seeing Online Warriors just dominate the 1v1s, and it's a triple kill out of Respectful that could be a momentary spark.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he tries to advance with the ball, can't quite finish the kill or follow up on his teammates' damage, and Quadrant, they're going to punish Online Warriors right from that mistake. It's going to be one last push from Online Warriors in this game one, and Quadrant, like I said, a much different storyline here, at least at the start of this second best of 5.
The push is coming. The ball is desperately trying to rotate away. SLG. It's been a one-man show at times, but he's ran straight into Online Warriors. The setup has been broken. What is a long and arduous task now for Online Warriors to really claw back at this deficit.
You want to talk about miracles, you want to talk about something special, it'd be a comeback here and now, but we'll see if Quadrant even allow that thought to go any further as NURIX picks up that ball, turns the corner, almost ends the game in his team's favor, but Slays are going to come through for the Online Warriors for now, and it's a 1v1 between SLG and Respectful. Fortunately for Online Warriors fans, SLG's across the map, and Respectful, he's got ball in hand.
SLG biding his time, waiting for his teammates to go back off the respawn, not trying to head in there single file. 2 kills though go in favor this time of Online Warriors. Phlux down to half shields. Will NURIX be able to capitalize on that damage? Respectful pops back out. Ball has been dropped. They're opting to have the gunfight here and now, and they've been rewarded as it's now 55 seconds to 97, and all of a sudden questions are starting to get asked.
Absolutely. At what point do you start entertaining this comeback's potential? Snakey has been the main slayer for this team throughout the day. Stalker rifle in hand, dealing a ton of damage to multiple players, make it a third even, as he helps take down TchiK. Another one, Shad. He gets removed from the map. NURIX, he's forced to back up and go towards the commando hall from the front. He gets taken down. 25 points, Jersey.
2 dead though for Online Warriors. Is this the push? Respectful though locks in a killing spree, and Shad only has intentions of the ball. He tried to pick it up and whisk it away, and he's paid the price by only adding 1 single solo second to his team's tally. But the rockets have been picked up in the meantime, and here they come. Here comes the pain. Will he opt to pick this ball up? Mose down to no shields. Will get taken care of, and a triple kill for NURIX to end round 2. And Quadrant are in the ascendancy in the bracket reset. 1-0 lead.
Big triple kill out of NURIX, the new guy on the roster. That's what you need out of him, right? You need somebody to step up and make a play, put a punctuation on game 1. That's exactly what NURIX gives you there. It took a set of rockets. It wasn't pretty. But Quadrant looking much stronger there, I feel like, in game 1 than they ever did in that first series. A lot more of their pace, right? A lot more slow pushes, methodical pushes. And when they had control, they were able to keep it with great rotations. That's what you love to see out of Quadrant. That's the Quadrant that can compete with some of the world's best. On the side of Online Warriors, I really needed to see more of their teamwork, more of their ability to set the pace. It was really Respectful popping up in the kills category. Did the most damage on the team as well, but not enough noise, not enough plays being made from the entire roster to get a win there.
One player making a lot of noise on the map is SLG there, Wes, nearly hitting 8k damage. What a performance out of him in game 1. The rocket launcher played a big part, and more often than not, he seemed to be able to pick them up, not only in the game, but for his team, driving them forward. But like you say, SLG and indeed Quadrant, they're a real momentum-based team at times, and now they get off to this series with a 1-0 lead, and that could really change the complexion of what way this game goes.
Yeah, I think this is a big confidence game for Quadrant, right? I think especially after that first best of 5, the way that Online Warriors put a punctuation on it in that Aquarius game with how strong they looked individually, there were definitely momentum shifts towards Online Warriors knowing that they were the better team in this series, and Quadrant probably scratching their head. It was a really big statement for them to come out strong in this, to win the 1v1 battles that they won, to have the control that they had. But I think the most important piece of that is those strong starts to each round 1 and 2, to be able to secure rockets, to put those rockets to work, to just create some space and maybe relieve some of the pressure that felt like Online Warriors were able to apply throughout the entire first best of 5. Like, to be able to push that back, to push back and to show that you can, when you play your game, you can be just as dominant. I think that that was a massive statement from Quadrant there in game 1. And we'll learn a lot about Online Warriors here in game 2, because this is almost a must-win game if you're talking about, I mean, the feeling of how long your day been, how long your day has been if you're Online Warriors, and the fact that you're going to have to try and reverse sweep a team after beating them in the first best of 5. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of focus that's going to be needed. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. It's going to come down to a Catalyst Slayer to stop that from happening. So we saw them have a strong performance against Ascend earlier today. We'll see if they have a similar strong performance, and if they can do a better job to get this overshield and put it to work and deny Quadrant from the map control that they had there in game 1.
Starting strats are so important, and they've gone the way of Online Warriors certainly here. An overshield is up for grabs. Respectful tries to get his hands on them, but he has been taken down. The shield will lay on that mid bridge. Which team will step out of line and try and pick it up and secure it? The information no doubt will come through. This map can be so hectic at times. No real meta has developed just yet, still in its infancy, but phlux has got his hands on the overshield, and Online Warriors are looking to roar back into life here.
Risky play by phlux, but we'll see if it pays off. He gets a free flank with that repulsor, and now it's 6-3. phlux just looking to do whatever he can, wherever he can with this overshield. A great start for Online Warriors so far here in game 2.
NURIX down the half shields, will back away. phlux traversing the land, trying to really push the pressure and dictate the pace with this overshield. He has to be the first line of contact here, and unfortunately 2 of his teammates have fallen around him. Swords charging towards him, but he manages to get it and secure that kill. But he's not long for the world, but that trade might have been best case scenario if you're doing damage control there, Wes.
Yeah, picking up that kill onto the sword player is one thing. Couldn't quite find the sword immediately after, so he kind of staggered his next play, but he was kind of caught out in that sense. Respectful, a beautiful skewer shot there, and you love to see that create some space for his team potentially, but only a 2-kill game, so as strong and as dominant as Online Warriors have had as a start to this game 2. Quadrant doing even almost a better job now to take the lead with the double kill of their own, make it 3, 13-11. Online Warriors against the ropes now, and NURIX is going to show you how he can use overshield to his advantage as well.
Those slays came at the perfect time, right as overshield was about to pop. Still a 2-kill game after such an impressive start for Online Warriors. But NURIX is playing a little bit hesitant here, a little bit tentative with the overshield, and hasn't been able to get into the action. And as a result of that, 3 members of Online Warriors charging him down. No more overshield to play with, and that was a complete waste.
Yeah, couldn't quite find a target to kind of lock onto and deal damage to. He kind of just stood there, a couple of circles spinning around, and all of a sudden your overshield's gone. So a good job by Online Warriors to negate that overshield from impacting the game. Unfortunately, with how strong Online Warriors have looked at the start of this game, to find yourself down 2, things still need to change, and that may be the change they needed with some great shot from Mose there.
1-kill game. And Snakey almost evades the attentions of Shad's crosshairs, but ultimately the Frenchman will spare his blushes for now. 2-kill lead then. Skewer in control of Online Warriors, in the hands of a man who's been playing really well all tournament longs. What can he do with it here? Can he find the chest of SLG? He tries to reach Al, but it was a mistake. Double kill for SLG, making a triple as he lines up respectful now in the crosshairs and tries to get the overshield, and Shad's going to hear about that.
A 4-for-1 trade for Quadrant. They extend the lead to 6. Big opportunity for SLG to find a pick with this skewer. Unfortunately, just narrowly misses the quick scope, and respectful and phlux, they're going to make his teammates pay for it with some kills of their own. phlux actually finding a second as well. So this one not over yet, but Online Warriors, like I said, they need to keep this one close, and unfortunately close but no cigar so far for the Online Warriors here in this second best of 5.
2 members then positioned over towards the Ivy side. Sword is there if either one of them need it. phlux though tries to impale the overshield player, but it's a swing and a miss this time, and you will not be making kebabs out of him. SLG though, he's got intentions of slicing and dicing. Mose is in big trouble, but opting to use his BR here instead. Somehow SLG comes out on top, and that's a huge kill to extend the lead to 7.
1v1s that Quadrant were not winning earlier in this grand finals. They have turned around and they're starting to click. SLG specifically being one of those guys that is so important. The repulsor to knock him back is unfortunate for SLG, but it's made this just a 4-kill game, and the Online Warriors may have some momentum. Let's see if they're able to successfully push into the space, because this is like a new dynamic that they're probably not used to with how little they played this map.
4-kill game. Extend the lead back to 5. SLG will not peek out once more and wait for a teammate to take care of business there. It hasn't come though. The Shads in the world of hurt, not long for the world. That will be traded out. It's a 1-for-1, but ultimately 4 kills the difference between these two teams as we head into the latter stages of this game here. NURIX goes back base, plays that deep pocket, calls for the cavalry. Will they be answered? TchiK is standing here ready for the beef, but unfortunately his teammates falling around him. Trades once more, but it's a 1-kill game. The lead that Quadrant once held has been completely evaporated now. It's a distant memory.
I really like what we just saw from the Warriors right there, right? They were able to back up, collect some grenades, and maybe collect themselves even before pushing back into the base. They found themselves in that 2v2, end up going 3-for-1 in that exchange, and because of it, you're talking about a 1-kill, make it a tied game now, Shurzy. The Online Warriors have woken up here in the second best of 5, and they've taken the lead.
There's blood in the water now. It's open season, as the overshield will not play a factor once more. We're all tied up, and Online Warriors are here to play, and grenades going down. Those 1v1s they were winning before are starting to not get traded out this time. But what can phlux do for his team? SLG again with the skewer fires the cross map, but it's not going to connect. We've seen a lot of them whiffed, a lot of them missed. Lovely shots onto Snakey. What an angle that was for him, and Snakey, you can see, was unaware that was ever going to be a possibility. Mose caught unawares as well, but respectful will help to keep his duo alive. But for how long, the question remains.
SLG staying alive, choosing not to use the skewer just yet, but great damage from SLG. 3-4 dead for Online Warriors, and what looked like was a potential comeback is immediately shut down. Quadrant slow it down. They control where Online Warriors are going to be able to go. The skewer still can't quite find that kill, and as we see players continue to attempt to master the skewer over time, I'm sure SLG will become a nuisance with this thing, but for now, not the best shish kebab being displayed here.
SLG just has not been able to get anything going with that skewer. It's been swinging and miss. He's almost staring at the gun going, am I firing blanks? Because he has not been able to connect so far, but still a 4-kill game here, Wes, and Quadrant very close. Very, very close indeed from making this a 1 game away from taking grand finals at the second time of asking.
3 kills, all Quadrant needs. What are Online Warriors going to be able to do? Snakey, that's a big one. Snakey can get a 3-kill game. Unfortunately for Snakey, Mose gets caught out. Does get a kill before going down, but trades are exactly what Quadrant want to see in the kill feed right now, and respectful. He gets 1. SLG wisely backing down here. I like the fact that Online Warriors are grouped up, but another overshield in the hands of Quadrant spells disaster.
Disaster it is. as the overshield finally does some significant damage, and game 2 goes the way of Quadrant, and all of a sudden we're on board here, and it could be a clean sweep if an Online Warriors are in big trouble, Wes.
Big trouble. I mean, how many overshields did we just see Quadrant get in a row? Even the skewer, although it wasn't impactful, it was out of the hands of Online Warriors the entire game. And that kind of control, when you have it, not only are you sometimes not able to put it to use, but at least, at the very least, you are removing it from your teammate, the enemy's hands. And because of that, the game is much easier, right? The amount of pressure that you're allowed to apply just by presence alone with the skewer and the overshield do dividends in your ability to take control of the map. I think that's what we saw from Quadrant that game. It was perfect overshield control paired with skewer control that maybe didn't amount to a lot of kills, but you better back up and don't make this easy for SLG, because you know he'll eventually hit it. I mean, even with all those missed shots, 4,800 damage, leading the lobby entirely. SLG really starting to show his superstar form here when his team needs it most, because Quadrant, I was worried about them, how they looked in that first series, but this second series, they're looking like that Quadrant you know and love.
The captain of Quadrant, SLG, up against the captain of Online Warriors, and they almost split the damage, almost tied it up evenly. I think separated only by 8 as Respectful managed to get just a fraction more damage, but ultimately, Wes, what's happened is Quadrant have taken the lead. 3 kills was the difference between these two teams at the end. And now we head into a very, very pivotal objective game. We spoke about how Quadrant are a momentum-based team, and they've got all of it going their way now as we head into Strongholds on Recharge.
Yeah, it may just be a case of Online Warriors kind of running out of gas, or Quadrant starting to figure out the play style a little bit, probably a little bit of a mixture of both. In all honesty, Quadrant didn't really look like they were in their form in that first best of 5 for the grand finals. They looked really strong so far here through these first 2 games, and Online Warriors, like we said, it's getting late over there in Europe. It's about bedtime for these guys, I'm sure. And although these guys are gamers, they grind with energy, and like the passion of winning a lot of these series will take out of you is so difficult to try and continue to figure out ways to gain more of, right? You beat the team that dropped you if you're Respectful in Navi. You beat a Sin not once but twice. You beat Quadrant in the first best of 5. That's got to be an exhausting road to go down, especially all in one day. You need to know that as an Online Warriors player, that if SLG gets the shock rifle, he gets comfortable, he can take this game over just like we can. So denying that storyline from ever happening is going to be one of the key victory points for this Online Warriors squad to stay in this series.
NURIX face to face with Mose will get eliminated. First 2 picks in favor of Online Warriors. First camouflage in the chest of Respectful. That's exactly the kind of start the Online Warriors needed to do.
Yes, sir.
Just to stop and just to quell this momentum that's been all one-way traffic. It's been all one flow. They need to try and get that pendulum to swing back the other way, and another kill goes in their favor. And Quadrant yet to register a kill so far in the first 30 seconds of this game.
Unfortunately, Respectful goes down, but not without being traded. It's going to be a potential trip cap situation if they can get him out of B. Unfortunately, they're going to lose B for now, but constant pressure is a recipe for success on Recharge Strongholds, and that's exactly what we're seeing out of the Online Warriors here so far.
Now shock rifle in the hands of phlux, but not for long, as it has been taken care of this time. Snakey, though, sitting top gold.
That's a wall, Snakey.
That is a wall, Snakey. You're gonna have to get yourself out from behind there. And we'll pick up the shock rifle, though. I know we've seen Mose already find his way into the drink once before, and we don't need to see that again. That much is for damn sure, but what can the man from England do now with the shock rifle? This game has slowed down, and the points have gone significantly in Online Warriors' favors. They take a 55 score lead. But pressure starting to be applied. B and C now in control of Quadrant, and they finally start to break the deadlock.
They flipped the whole map without Snakey really being able to find some impact here. Somehow he's got to get involved. I'm not quite sure how you go from a trip cap situation to being trip capped without engaging in a fight, but Snakey ripping the head off SLG releases a little bit of the pressure. He's going to need to do it to Shad, and unfortunately, it's close, but no cigar, and he loses his life. How fast can Online Warriors get out of this situation is the question. They built themselves a great 55-point lead, but it's immediately erased by a trip cap of Quadrant's own.
They have steadied the ship, though, and Slaves have gone in their direction once more, and Second successful camouflage. Back to back in that man's chest, respectful, but 2 slays again once more go the way of Quadrant. What can respectful do for his team? Still has about 15 seconds or so of camouflage left to play with, but it's not much. He drops into the hill, and that's going to be enough to get the reset. B and C will remain in their control. The disruptor will do the damage to pop the shields of 1. But they're 3 dead again. And Snakey, it's the last man over towards A, and SLG will leave to try and contest this A, but unfortunately for him, spawns are starting to come that way. But here comes the sword, and here comes the pain as TchiK soars in and will take control of A once more.
TchiK making the play to transfer A back into Quadrant's favor. They look dominant after the break, after the opening setup of Online Warriors right now. What can Online Warriors do to get out of it? And this is one of my fears for this Online Warriors team, Jersey, is how quickly can they get out of bad situations? Because you know that they haven't really gone over everything they need to as far as structure and routines and setups. They can be great at on-the-fly play, especially when they're in control, but when they're not in control, what does that mean for their real opportunity to try and break the setups of teams that know what they're doing, like Quadrant? So far, it's been all Quadrant since that trip cap took place, and Shad in a really strong position here with sword top control to continue to do some serious work.
And when Online Warriors open up the playbook, the only thing it reads is kill. And unfortunately, when plan A hasn't gone according,
it's the Shad show.
It's a one-man show right now. It's a one-man band in Shad. And that sword has been playing a beautiful tune all game long. B and C remain in their control. And this bleeding, they have been unable to stop here. Snakey will soar up towards top batteries, but it's the first camouflage the Quadrant have been able to get their hands on.
He denies
and the contest will come through. B and C then in control for now of Quadrant. The fight will come down, a scrap over towards C. Will they be able to get the reset and continue this momentum? 2 kills in their favor. Shad with the shock rifle has been unable to find the face of Mose in the last 3 times of asking, but might still win that BR fight. He doesn't, but Mose made a meal of that one. And when you start to see things like that, and they're starting to make the really easy kills look more and more difficult, the writing's on the wall here. 157 now as they look to lock in yet another triple cap.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, Mose has no business having that fight last as long as it did, but it just shows you the struggle, right? You can feel it in the combat loop for Online Warriors right now. Not as crisp as they once were earlier today. Not as aware, even as Snakey gets flanked right there from control. It's a trade, but it's a successful trade. Good shots out of Mose to redeem himself, to transfer A over into his team's favor, but unfortunately, in the meantime, B and C, they've been flopped. Quadrant rotating perfectly. They seem to have really hit their stride here in game 3.
Okay, you win that one gunfight, Mose, but the problem is, while you've taken A and you've put so much resources into capturing it, Quadrant have recognized that and said, okay, you can have A, we're just going to go take C. The only resource we're going to send your way is one player to maybe get a hero stop. But it means they continue to score. Momentum, all one way. And it's for the Frenchman. Online Warriors need to step up here, or they're about to get clean swept.
Camo would be big. Can Mose stay alive? It's the big question. Unfortunately, running into multiple players wherever he goes, Quadrant is there to shut him down. And Snakey, even with sword in hand, you can't be confident that this is going to go in their favor. And I mean, SLG just erases any story that Snakey had thought about putting into practice there with that sword. Respectful does clean up A. They continue to score, but I mean, Jersey, just so much work needs to be done to stop Quadrant's momentum, to potentially get back into this game. And unfortunately, you just don't see the openings that we saw earlier from the Warriors.
It's one thing to break the setup. It's entirely a different thing to keep control of your very own setup. And look at this, every single time those hero trades are going one direction, and it's all going towards Quadrant. A triple cap now, and they're really starting to crank the pain. The guillotine is coming down, and they're looking for the Online Warriors' heads.
After such a strong performance in Kansas City, Quadrant come out in our first Pro Series here in the EU region, and they make noise. They continue to create opportunity with this roster. We wondered, what was this roster going to look like with NURIX and Fragger? They're answering all the questions here today. Beautiful shots from everyone that's on board. TchiK with 18, SLG with 18. The big time players, they've come to play here.
And Quadrant reigns supreme. A 3-0 clean sweep in their second best of 5 in the bracket reset. What a performance out of them. And it has to be said, congratulations, not only for the first time in Halo Infinite history has a different team other than Ascend actually won. It's been Quadrant. It's still in the same country, mind you, so we haven't gone far, Wes. But commiserations to Online Warriors. What a display those boys have put on today.
Yeah, I think there's a lot we can talk about that occurred all day today. But first and foremost, for Quadrant to come out and take this entire series, congratulations to them. They played lights out. You wondered if it was going to happen after that first best of 5, but we saw the best of Quadrant there in that second one. They woke up. They made sure to capitalize on their opportunity to take this Pro Series, to win their first, I'd say, big tournament, even if it's online. To get that notch on your belt, that's a massive mile marker for all of these guys. And you know, they had to be wondering how successful that their ceiling is capable of with the team change that they made from NURIX to Fragger, or from Fragger to NURIX, I'm sorry. And you're seeing it showcased right here. They can win this region outright.
I mean, you're looking at heading into this reset in the best of 5. Your head turns, Wes, to the leaders, to the players who have had the most experience, and to the best players. And in that final game, TchiK and SLG, they both performed admirably. It seemed to be, and not only that, Shad at one stage, it was a one-man wrecking ball. Every single player on that team towards this series won every single gun engagement it seemed. Every 1v1, they came out on top.
Yeah, and like we touched on, Online Warriors maybe not giving us the best show there in that best of 5, but
yeah,
I mean, for what they gave us all day, they're able to take that one off. They should be able to walk away with their heads high, knowing that, hey, this one might have gotten away as you weren't able to really capitalize in that grand finals moment in that second best of 5. But I mean, from what they were able to accomplish today, I think that there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of optimism going forward.